I do think we should talk about the recruits. National Signing Day was 2 days ago, Wednesday. Casey, USC officially finishing with a number one class after Chris Henry Jr. signing with Ohio State, not flipping to Oregon. Thank goodness. Even though
Yep.
USC does play to Ohio State, I would so much rather he go to Ohio State than Oregon. So, Casey, what recruit do you think you're most excited for?
I mean, there's a couple. I was gonna say Pepe, but I'm gonna go Mark Bowman. He's the second highest recruited player in the class for USC. He's the number 3 player in the state, number 3 tight end, and according to 247, all this, by the way. And I mean, he is just a special player. He's got the frame to be. He could have started, at tight end this past year for USC. He's 6'4.5", 225. He's got incredible route running for a tight end, great hands. I've watched his tape, modern day kid. You can tell he wants to stay close to home and build something at USC. And the fact that they're losing Lake McCree, but they'll have Walker Lyons likely next year, just shows that they're building a tight end core that is very strong. And so I'm really excited about Mark Bowman.
Yeah, I think that's a great pick because he is going to be, you're losing Lake McCree. Bowman is regarded as one of the best prospects that a lot of these recruiters, I should say, has seen in a long time. Has the frame, has the play style of lots of guys we've seen in the pros, such as Brock Bowers. Casey, the thing I really want to highlight, 8 guys in this USC class coming from the Trinity League, of course, the premier league here in high school football down in Southern California. The last couple years, they've gotten almost no one. They have barely gotten anyone from Mater Dei, from Bosco, from any of these big schools that are down here. Establishing that pipeline from Southern California to the Coliseum to Heritage Hall is what Lincoln Riley should have been doing from the start. Not trying to go after all these guys from Georgia. Not that I'm saying that they shouldn't, but they need to establish it with these Southern California guys because they are the ones who want to play for USC. There was an old Pete Carroll quote, which he said, no, he didn't say, or it's not an old Pete Carroll quote, I should say. It is something that happened during the Pete Carroll era where if you went to a school in Southern California and Pete Carroll's USC offered you, you committed on the spot. You committed on the spot because you wanted to play for USC. It needs to get to that level. Now, it 100% is getting closer. USC signed an incredible amount of players from Southern California. I haven't even mentioned a player yet. I realize I'm going a little off base. But also, even if you took out every single – I'm now just kind of ranting. But if you took out every single one of the 3-star recruits, USC would still have the number 1 recruiting class. That is how impressive I think this is for Lincoln Riley's squad.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, you look at Caden Dixon-Wyatt, another modern day kid. The class as a whole. I mean, Kini Pepe, he comes from IMG Academy, so that's not nearby. Jamian Winfield as well comes from the South. But, I mean, there's so many guys in here that are just, top tier Southern California players. And a lot of modern day kids did go to other places, like you mentioned Chris Henry. But USC got the cream of the crop. They got the best players from this region. I'm really excited about Boobie Feaster as well.
Yes.
I mean, the receiving core with him, Caden Dixon-Wyatt, Tanook Hines, who's already on the team. I mean, this could be setting up USC. Mark Bowman, obviously. Like, you could be setting up USC for a future like none other. Like the pipeline right now, it feels like Lincoln Riley is keeping his promise of the offense always having playmakers. You can say what you want to say about wins and losses, but USC is always going to have the playmakers. Yep. And, I mean, that doesn't even include the running backs, Deshaun Rideau, Sean Alston. I mean, Jonas Williams, rather. Like, there's so many guys that are going to come in this class and be special.
Now, there's a few things I want to touch on because we've seen a lot of guys from USC enter the transfer portal. None all that surprising. None that really stand out as, oh, wow, that's a little shocking. It's guys who I think they thought they might be replaced with the upcoming class. So I'm not taking it really as a big hit, if we're being completely honest. Guys like, I think Gus Cordova could have been good. But, I don't think a guy like that is that big a loss when you're bringing in, and I'm going to mention a guy here, Casey, Luke Waffle.
Yep.
That is a guy who could be instant impact because I kind of just salivate on the thought of him and Jakeem Stewart playing on each side of each other on the defensive line. That is really what gets me excited about this class because, and I saw the comment here from Larry, but Lincoln Riley teams are soft. Yeah, they are. But I think that this class is the first step into making them no longer soft, building up the trenches. I think we're going to see what officially happens. The transfer portal, it's not officially open yet, if I'm not mistaken. So players can't commit to schools. You can't actually recruit guys. But as soon as it starts to get cooking a little bit more, I think we'll see more from Bowman.
Yeah, I don't really like the mentality of like Lincoln Riley teams are soft because yes, they are right now, but also like that is not a that's not something that's necessarily going to be a mainstay. I mean, I think this USC class is showing that USC is actually taking pride in its backyard in the recruiting. I mean, USC has had good recruiting classes under Lincoln Riley. 2023, I mean, what a receiver class that was. Deuce Robinson, Zachariah Branch, Jacoby Lane, Mekhi Lemon. List goes on. I think Walker Lyons was in that class too. If you're looking at pass catchers. With that being said, the defense brought in a lot of recruits on this. I mean, Jamie Winfield, 4-star recruit.
That's going to be a good one too. Didn't even mention him.
Yeah, he's the number 3 defensive lineman in the country, and he's from Texas. Talanoa Ely, linebacker, number 5 linebacker in the country. You brought up Luke Waffle, one of the best edge rushers in the country out of this class. I mean, the list goes on. I'm not even including Elbert Hill and others on this list. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of crazy to jump to conclusions. I think this is a team that is building something. And yes, there hasn't been success under the 4 years at Lincoln Riley, but we know that Lincoln Riley is going to be here at least 5 more, 6, 7, 8 more years, depending. You have to build for the future. And I know the first couple years have been disappointing, but a lot has changed in college football. I cut him a little bit of slack here. He also didn't have Chad Bowden to recruit a class. So I think, now we're seeing just so much change in college football. I'm not going to cut Lincoln too much slack, but I cut him a little bit. I think, this is an unprecedented class. This is the first time USC has had a class like this in over 15 years.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think I want to say 2006 was the last time USC signed the number 1 recruiting class in the country. Pretty crazy. The talent, I'm not going to say all the freshmen are going to instantly make an impact, and you're going to have to go get some transfers. That's what I fully believe to fill some of the gaps. You're going to need some DBs. You're going to need people on both lines, to be honest. Wide receiver, I think they're good. Running back, good. Quarterback, whether it's Mayava, whether it's Longstreet, whether it's even Jonas Williams, one of these guys is going to work out. Casey, though, I do believe to retain the majority of this talent and to build that momentum going forward, next year it's a minimum of 9-3 for USC. And that is going to be really difficult. That's where you have to go, in my opinion.
I agree. I mean, I think it is difficult, but also most of the
I'm going to share the schedule. I'm going to share my screen.
Yeah. And I just want to say, most of the tough games are at home, and the Coliseum was a really good place to play for USC.
Great place. Yeah. Lincoln Riley is what? Is it 18-1 against? It was 18-1, I want to say, against unranked teams going in this season. Maybe 19.
I don't know. I mean, I know he lost to Penn State last year, and the year before that they had some losses.